As the College Football Playoff (CFP) approaches, the landscape is heating up with several teams still vying for a spot in the final bracket. Here's a prediction for the CFP rankings as we approach Selection Sunday. With 18 teams remaining in contention. Oregon, Big Ten champion, Oregon, the last undefeated team, holds a strong position. If they win the Big Ten championship, they should be the #1 seed, although a loss would drop them out of the top 4. Texas, SEC, Texas has earned a rematch against Georgia and will look to redeem its earlier loss. Despite Georgia's strong performance in the first meeting, Texas is considered more consistent. SMU, ACC, SMU has dominated the ACC this season and, with a win over Clemson, should secure the #3 spot, earning a place in the top 4. Arizona State, Big 12, after a blowout win over rival Arizona. Arizona State could enter the top 4 if they defeat Iowa State in the Big 12 championship, pushing Boise State out of contention. Notre Dame, at large, despite sitting out of conference championships. Notre Dame's strong season could secure a top 6 seed, especially if Penn State falters against Oregon. Penn State, at large, if Penn State can defeat Oregon, they could climb to a top spot. However, a loss would leave them in a tough position. Georgia, at large, even with a loss to Texas. Georgia's strong resume and previous head-to-head wins, including over Tennessee, should keep them in the top 8. Ohio State, at large, Ohio State's loss to Michigan drops them. But their overall resume with top wins might still secure a first-round home game, provided the committee doesn't overreact to their final game. Tennessee, at large, with a strong finish to the season. Tennessee is a contender for a top 8 seed, particularly if they play at home. Indiana, at large, Indiana's solid record and a win over Purdue could solidify a spot, especially given the lack of other dominant candidates for at-large berths. Boise State, Group of 5, Boise State is a standout from the Group of 5, boasting one of the Heisman front-runners. Their only loss was to Oregon, and they could make a strong case for a playoff spot. Alabama, at large, Alabama's strength of schedule and previous head-to-head victories, including over South Carolina, could push them into the playoff bracket despite some flaws in their resume. Teams on the outside looking in. South Carolina, with 6 straight wins. South Carolina could still make a case, especially with a Clemson victory in the ACC championship. Miami could be considered due to fewer losses, but their weak strength of schedule hurts their case compared to teams with stronger resumes like BYU. Ole Miss, with close losses and a big win over Georgia. Ole Miss could have a strong argument, but a home loss to Kentucky limits their chances. This projection shows a competitive field, with teams like Ohio State and Alabama potentially on the outside looking in if they don't perform well in the coming weeks. The race for the final spots is intense, with several teams capable of claiming a place in the bracket as the season wraps up.